Ethan James was the kind of student everyone liked, but few truly understood. He was bright, brilliant, even, but lacked one crucial quality: focus. Teachers saw glimpses of genius in his essays, but deadlines were his arch-nemesis. His room was a war zone of sticky notes, half-read books, and unfinished ideas. "I'm just not motivated," he'd say, scrolling on his phone, hours slipping by like water through a sieve. Every semester began with the same promise: "This time I'll change." And every semester ended with regret. He watched classmates rise while he remained stagnant, trapped in his loop of wasted potential. Ethan wasn't lazy. He was lost. He had dreams of becoming a great architect, of designing buildings that would make people stop and marvel. But dreams, without discipline, become burdens. And time, when ignored, becomes a thief. One rainy afternoon, Ethan found himself in Professor Holt's office, facing the consequence of another missed deadline. "I've seen you speak passionately about design," Professor Holt said, pushing his glasses up his nose. "But your talent is drowning in delay." Ethan sighed, eyes low. "I just don't know where the time goes." Professor Holt leaned in. "Time doesn't disappear, Ethan. It gets spent. You're spending it on things that won't get you anywhere." He paused, then opened a drawer and pulled out a letter. "This came for you." It was an invitation to a student design contest in New York, a national competition, judged by renowned architects. The catch? The deadline was 2 weeks away. "This could change your life," Holt said, "but only if you stop wasting time." Ethan held the letter with trembling hands. Something inside him stirred, not fear but fire. Ethan went home and stared at the invitation for hours. He thought about all the time he had wasted, binge-watching shows, endless gaming sessions, mindless scrolling. He remembered the nights his mother stayed up worrying, the mornings she went to work exhausted to help fund his education. And then, a decision. No more. He cleared his desk. He deleted the social media apps. He made a plan, a real one, with hours blocked, goals defined, and accountability built in. The first 2 days were brutal. Distractions whispered to him like old friends. But every time he wanted to quit, he repeated a new mantra: "This time is mine." He rose at 5 a.m., sketching before breakfast. He studied famous blueprints, mimicking lines with trembling hands. He reached out to Holt with questions, something he'd never done before. It wasn't perfection he sought. It was momentum. 10 days in, exhaustion hit. Ethan hadn't seen friends, hadn't taken breaks. He looked at his design, a sprawling concept of a sustainable urban school, and felt it was all falling apart. "I can't do this," he muttered, crumbling the page. But just then, he remembered a story his grandfather once told him. His grandfather, David James, was once a soldier stationed in Korea. One day, during a mission, David's tea. "Congratulations. You've been selected as one of the top 5 finalists. You are invited to present your design in New York City." Tears welled up, not because he had won, but because he had taken the chance. He called his mom. She cried too. That night, Ethan didn't scroll through memes or binge shows. He looked at a blank page and began planning his presentation. He was a different person now, a person who knew the value of time. Standing on stage in New York, Ethan spoke to a crowd of professionals, students, and judges. "I used to waste my time," he began. "I had ideas but no action, dreams but no discipline. Then someone challenged me to take time seriously." He held up his design. "This building isn't just a project. It's proof that we can change if we choose to." The crowd applauded. But more than the applause, Ethan noticed something else. Students in the front row, looking at him the way he once looked at others. Eyes full of doubt, but also hope. He smiled. "Don't waste your time. It's the one thing you can never get back. But it's also the one thing that, if used wisely, can change your life." Ethan didn't win first place. He didn't need to. When he returned to campus, something remarkable happened. Younger students started approaching him, asking for advice. Some had seen the recording of his speech. Others had heard the story. "Can you help me with time management?" One asked. "Can you review my design?" Another said. Ethan wasn't just a student anymore. He was a mentor, a role model, a leader. He kept growing, not perfectly but intentionally. He still battled distractions, but he had a mission now. He wanted to help others see what he finally had. Time is your most valuable asset. A year later, Ethan received another envelope, this time from a prestigious firm offering him an internship. In the letter, the hiring manager wrote, "We watched your New York presentation. We were inspired not just by your design, but by your story. You understand something most professionals take years to learn. Time matters." He folded the letter and placed it on his desk, next to a quote he had written in marker. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. Maybe you're like Ethan once was, smart, passionate, but stuck in patterns that steal your time and energy. Maybe you tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," while the clock ticks on. But here's the truth. Tomorrow is not promised. You don't need more talent. You need more courage. Courage to say no to distractions. Courage to start, even if it's messy. Courage to keep going when it feels like you're failing. Because every second you waste is a second stolen from your potential. And every second you use well, that's a step toward greatness. Ethan didn't become a success overnight. He became a success the moment he chose to own his time. So the question is, will you do the same?